if you knew that you were God, how would that change how you live your life? Would you look at yourself with the same self-esteem that you've always looked at yourself with? Or would you take on a role of being a creator in your own world? By being a creator in your own world, I mean someone or anyone that has the power to structure their life in the way that they see fit. Not so much in the sense that, oh, I'm building up a career and I'm building up expenditures here and there, but more in the sense that you can create the experiences that you want to have. And it could be argued that, oh, the experiences that I have were just things that I chose for myself. And yes, they are experiences that you choose for yourself, but it's what you do with that experience where the aspect of who you are really comes into play, because that's essentially why we're here, is to express who we are. And at the deepest level of that, I may feel that I am one with God, that I'm not separate from God, and that I am what I am. There's this pretty well-known mantra called I am that I am, and I feel as though that kind of sums it up in the sense that knowing who you are is the greatest gift that you can give to yourself. So in essence, that's essentially what I'm doing with this video here in Providence, Rhode Island with my bike. Is I'm kind of creating the experience that I want. I'm almost using this YouTube platform as a way to journal my thoughts, and I also find it to be useful as a way of sharing my thoughts. And not just my thoughts, but my beliefs that I have and other things like that, because when I share it with other people, I act as a mirror for that. And I act as someone who can show you parts of yourself by just me being me. I think I mentioned this in a previous video about how we have mirror neurons, and essentially that's just science that kind of supports the fact that reality is just one big mirror, or it's one big reflection of the self. For instance, when I work at my dad at his body shop, sometimes he gets overwhelmed by the amount of work that there is, and he tends to attract people into his life that might not be as pleasing to him as another person would be. And a lot of time that just has to do with the way that he feels about himself and the way that he feels bogged down. He kind of attracts more of that energy to him. And recently, since I've started working for him, I've been bringing in a little bit more of a kind of different workflow. I tend to be very sporadic with my direction, and I feel as though it's kind of given him a new opportunity to be able to look at himself and to look at his business through a different lens. For me, that sporadicness kind of shows up in the way of flow state. I find that when I'm in a flow state, meaning that there's energy, chi, prana, however you want to call it, is flowing through my body. That's what I consider a flow state, and it's a felt experience as well. It's not just something conceptual. In fact, the concept of it is just that concept of it rather than the actual experience. And I move in and out of this state sometimes. Like sometimes I don't feel like I'm in the flow state. Sometimes I feel like I'm a little in the flow state. Other times I'm like really there, and it's like, holy shit, all these synchronicities are happening in my life and everything is unfolding perfectly and beautifully. And those experiences are great, and I think it's a good marker that when you have them, it kind of shows you where you're at on your spiritual journey, whether or not you're aligned with your higher self. And I just think that that's one example of how we can kind of check ourselves when it comes to spirituality and relating to reality as a mirror. So I'm going to leave that video there, and I will see you next time.